How to open up a bank account in Paraguay in 3 easy steps. Today I'm going to fill you in on how you can get a bank account in Paraguay. I'm going to undress some of the most common misconceptions and lies that exist across the internet. Let's get started first talking about how it does not work. When you open up the internet and you search for information on how to open a bank account in Paraguay, you often see people talking about all kinds of different things, like you don't have to live there, you don't have to be a resident, you don't need a local ID. This turns out not to be true. You do have to obtain residency, get the local ID, and a couple other things too, which I'm going to fill you in to do that. So the information that you hear oftentimes is invalid, it is inaccurate, and it can cost you actually a lot of money if you listen to this kind of information. And we as a company, Nomad Elite, we open up bank accounts for our clients every single week. We do a lot of residence permits in Paraguay, the most out of any country. And this is something that we do on a day-to-day basis, so we know, because we are at the banks every single week at different banks, and so we're up to date with the requirements, and we're going to fill you in what the deposit requirements are for several banks, so make sure you stay until the end of the video. The first step that you must complete to open up a bank account in Paraguay is to become a legal resident of Paraguay. Legal residency in Paraguay can be achieved in multiple ways. The most popular option that our clients are choosing is temporary residency. Without proving economic solvency, without proving savings, income, net worth, no investment required, you can become a resident of Paraguay by proving a clean criminal record. Paraguay does not necessarily want rich people, but Paraguay does not want criminals. Unless you're a criminal, you're going to get into Paraguay. We also need your birth certificate. This is very important, your passport, and a couple of other documents that we have to get done in Paraguay before we can apply for Paraguayan residency. But this is important. This is step number one. If you don't complete step number one, if you don't get residency in Paraguay, you're not going to be able to get a bank account unless you qualify, for a very special account, unless you have very special intentions. If you're a large institutional investor, then we're talking a different language. But if you're not, if you're an average person, if you're middle class and you want to open up a bank account in Paraguay, which I'm sure is the case for most people watching this video, probably 95% plus or even 99%, then this process is vital and you must follow it to a T. Get residency first. So temporary residency is one option, and you can get it, like I said, on your own. You don't have to do anything, you just do that. Another option would be to get married to a Paraguayan citizen, but it's pretty much the same progress. You don't have to prove economic solvency, but you get married, and so you can do residency by marriage. You can also do residency by school enrollment. This may also be a valid option. It's a big commitment, doesn't work for most people. The amount of time it takes to go back to school, study, and they're really going to look at your attendance rate. You can't be missing too many classes because they're going to be reporting back and forth the university and also the government, right? And so this is something that you probably don't want to do unless you have really committed yourself to doing something, learning something, and graduating. Unless that's the case, don't do it. Permanent residency by investment is a popular option because you go straight to permanent residency in Paraguay. And permanent residency is really permanent. It's valid for 10 years and it is renewable. To qualify for permanent residency in Paraguay, you have to make an investment, okay? And this is an option that may work for you if you have legitimate business reasons to get into Paraguay and you want to do that, okay? So $70,000 is the investment amount that you're looking at. This amount can be spread out over a number of years. You don't have to invest it all up front. You can spread it out, say, over 3 years, couple of years, you can do that. It's a great option. Most people don't choose that because there is temporary residency with a path to permanent residency anyway. But if you want to get permanent residency right out of the gate because you don't want to spend the time getting temporary residency, plus you have business ambitions in Paraguay within the Mercosur region, then this can be a great option for you, okay? And so what you want to do is you want to qualify through investment, and there are more documents needed. The process is lengthier. Temporary residence takes roughly 90 days to get approved. Permanent residency may take longer. It depends on the number of factors, the kind of business you want to open up, and many more factors. How much you want to invest, what you want to invest in. So there are some really cool programs and options available. So we do recommend it to a certain number of people that really want to start a business. Step 2, get the additional document. Now that you have residency, you can move on to this second step, which is to obtain your Cedula, which is your national identification card that you can use to identify yourself locally in Paraguay, but you can also use it for a lot of processes, including applying for a bank account. Let's say you want to make an investment, you can use your Cedula, or let's say you want to travel to Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, anywhere you want to travel, you can use your Cedula. You don't have to travel with your passport. Now, this is great. However, you have to get your Cedula, and this is a separate application that you have to file. It's something that you have to do to open up a bank account. You have to show your Cedula. Then what you also want to get is your RUC number, which is your tax number. If you want to become a tax resident of Paraguay and if you want to open up a bank account, you will need it, okay? So you have to get it too. And this is all the second step. First step is residency, then the personal identification card is the next thing, then the RUC number is the second thing that you need. You just have to get these things, okay? And do that in the shortest amount of time possible, and we recommend you to work with us. You can contact us. We are a full package relocation agency that helps people move from North America, specifically of course the United States, Canada, to Paraguay. We also work with clients in Europe. We have clients all over the place, including in Asia. We have clients in Australia, in New Zealand, in Europe, in North America, in other Latin American countries. So people really come to us from all different geographic locations and backgrounds. Step number 3, open up your bank account. Depending on the type of account you want to open up, you may or may not need additional documents. Certain accounts, special accounts, and also depending on the amount of money that you're looking to deposit, you may need additional documentation to open up the bank account, such as wage statements, salary slips, bank account statements, right, from the bank account overseas where the money originates from. Paraguay, you know, the Paraguayan bank you want to work with, they may want to know this, right? But when you open up the bank account, and let's get started talking about Banco Atlas, which is a very popular big bank in Paraguay where you can open up a bank account in the local currency, the Paraguayan guarani, and also in US dollars, and potentially you can get accounts in different and more currencies. Have your national identification card from Paraguay, your RUC number, your salary slips, wage statements, bank statements, have all of it ready when you go to the bank. Then you have to decide what type of account you want to open up. Do you want to open up an account just in the local currency, which you may or may not want to do because, again, the Paraguayan guarani is definitely a good currency. I mean, compared to the Argentine peso, that's been losing a lot of value. There's been hyperinflation in Argentina, so Paraguay is definitely safer and better in this regard. However, you know, if you want to have it in the most stable currency or one of the most stable currencies, go with the US dollar. Maybe you can get a bank account in euro, so there are plenty of options. You're looking at a $2,000 deposit for the US dollar account and a 2,500,000 guarani deposit for the local currency account. You can also try Banco Itau, which is another bank in Paraguay, in Asunción. You can go there, you can open up an account, you bring exactly the same documents. The deposit requirements are slightly different. You're looking at a 4 million guarani deposit for the local currency account and a $6,000 deposit for the US dollar account. And of course, all these banks have minimum balance requirements, you know, otherwise you're gonna pay fee, and you're gonna pay fees anyway, you know, because how else are the banks gonna make money? They make money through fees. They wanna charge you. And so you wanna take a close look at the minimum balance requirement. So you're not gonna get charged additional fees, and the fees probably not gonna be much, but anyway, I think I wanted to point this out. Sudameris is another bank where you can open up an account, and the documentation is gonna be the same. If you wanna open up a bank account in a local currency, you're looking at 3 million guarani or $2,500 for the US dollar account. Now that I've given you the exact step-by-step process to open up a bank account in Paraguay, are you ready to pull the trigger? Nomad Elite would love to work with you, help you get residency, your identification card, your tax number, and of course, also your bank account. If you're interested in becoming a client, please click on the link below the video, sign up to our newsletter, contact us, book a consultation, and we'll help you get residency in Paraguay in the most efficient way possible. We're doing this all the time, every single week, and we would love to work with you. Thank you so much for watching Nomad Elite. We appreciate you, and we see you on the next video.